Systemic racism has created barriers dating back at least 50 years for people who are Black and want to own real estate.
In tonight's Facing Race report, Farah Jadrin introduces us to one family in Seattle's Central District neighborhood who have beat the odds and want their story to give other Black families hope.
Bankers blocked them from home loans. Husband and wife Gerald and Teresa Frank refused to take no for an answer.
We were in court. We went through it all.
In the 50s, the Franks saw redlining in action. Local banks refused to give home loans for places like the Central District, a then predominantly Black neighborhood.
We grew up putting pickets on banks, literally banks and bankers' homes, to amplify the injustice of redlining and just to expose it.
Dana's father passed away in 1996, but his hard work lives on. Gerald wanted to create long-lasting wealth for his children and all generations to follow, but it wasn't easy.
We were just raised with cash erodes, equity grows.
In 1950, despite the inability to get a loan, Gerald bought his first home by making a payment plan with a property owner near the UW campus. Then he added more strategies to invest in his family's future through real estate.
In order to make the $48 monthly note, he rented out rooms to his fellow students at the university. And that was the start. 4 years later, in 1954, he and my mother got together, and I call these individuals fire starters.
The fire didn't stop there. The Franks bought a piece of property every year for 15 years. They partnered with other investors and later bought them out. Today, they own a few hundred units in the Central District and Columbia City neighborhoods.
I wouldn't be sitting here without their knowledge, their hard work, the impact that my grandparents started so long ago. And it's an honor and a privilege to be sitting here with my grandmother and my mother today.
What the Franks did is remarkable. In 1970, only 50% of Black families in King County owned homes. And now it's even worse. In 2022, the number's down to just 28%.
There's a lot of discrimination in the housing market.
UW Sociology Department Chair Kyle Crowder says deep-rooted racist housing policies from the 1930s are holding back Black families today.
Black folks are also much more likely to be denied a mortgage than are white folks who have the same levels of income and the same kind of financial characteristics.
We know these are racist practices. What needs to happen to get rid of them?
Everything that we can do to increase the affordability of homeownership in Seattle is going to be really important. So doing things like changing our zoning laws to allow for the development of multifamily housing.
The Franks fought hard to build their future. One of the family's proudest achievements is creating housing that people choose to live in for decades.
This was from 1977. Someone moved into this apartment.
And they moved out in
They were there
2017, about 50 years they were there as a family.
The family business is in its third generation. Brett is the go-to for property management.
It's different every day, which is partly why I love it. Because, okay, how do we resolve problems? That's part of our job. And I've been inspired to learn from two, amazing Black women. And what that looks like for my life, it's been transformative.
Everyone has to work hard and pitch in, no matter the task.
My kids were not raised as trust fund kids. I mean, we get up on Saturdays, we check the properties. If they're trash, we pick up. We clean apartments when they're vacant.
They say it's time for more Black and BIPOC families to build equity and rise. For the Franks, that means breaking racist systems by investing in property and, more importantly, in people.
My proudest moment is when we have residents who come to us after so many years who say, look, I put a down payment on our home and we're moving out in the next couple months or so. That's what it's all about.
For Facing Race, Farah Jadrin, King 5 News.